What up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rhoa, and this is the recap review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 13, Episode 2. So, let's get started. This episode, we open up at Kenya's house. She is preparing her little back patio area for a little girls' chill, a little chill wine and fruit day situation. So, Cynthia comes over, and Cynthia is coming through like the side of Kenya's house. I know in the first episode they told us that she was building a pool or something. So I don't know. Maybe she just don't have no. I don't know. It wasn't no grass. But Kenya said, not Kenya, but Cynthia said there's snakes at Lake Bailey. So she was just making sure she wasn't getting involved in no snake mess over at Kenya's house as well. But then Kenya is like, oh, and I invited LaToya. And apparently LaToya is LaToya Forever from YouTube. I'm sorry, girl, I don't subscribe to you. I probably have seen one of your videos once or twice, but you new to me. But Kenya's like, shoot, you about new to me as you are to Kenya the day you go over her house, child. But Kenya had met LaToya at a party for Todd through Candy. And so Kenya's like, I invited her over today. And Cynthia is immediately like, for real? Like, you just met her yesterday. And then in her confession, she was even like, Kenya is not the nicest, friendliest person straight out the gate. So, like, for her to just be like, oh, yes, girl, come over to my house. The second day she meets somebody, like, literally, Kenya probably has to drag you first before she decides whether or not she'll like you. That's usually how it goes. So while they're there, they discuss, LaToya gets there, and Kenya actually goes down and gets her from the front door. And so Cynthia was like, well, excuse me, bitch, like, we've been friends forever, and I have to literally crawl on my hands and knees to get to your backyard, and you about to go down there and put the girl on your back and carry her up the stairs? Okay. So, like, yeah, so Cynthia is a little thrown off by this behavior from Kenya. However, she's also just still being Cynthia, like, still being nice and cordial, whatever. So once LaToya gets there, and honey, LaToya must be a dictionary because she got all of the definitions, honey, all the words. No matter what language, whose culture, she got the words for you, or is ready to look up a definition at the drop of a dime, which I can't really drag you for that because I be doing that. But yeah, so like they're talking, and she just kind of like her first question to the floor was to Kenya, how was it like dating a Trinidadian man, which the fact that you know that means y'all probably had this conversation last night at the party, and you just kind of wanted to have it again on camera so that you can flex your Trinidadian slang for us. I don't know, girl. I just don't know. But she talks about how like her and her husband are getting separated, but they live in the same house, and he serves her at the crib. And honestly, there's no way you're not living in my house after you done served me separation. Like, we can't live together. Like, yes, I understand we in the middle of a pan pizza, but we would have to figure something out. You would not be able to, you want to be separated so bad you would serve me in the crib that we both live in? Like, while we both here? You gotta go. Separate yourself, okay? Like, I don't get that. But, so yeah, she tells us all about that, and, Kenya is talking about, because they open it up like, are you like, I'm like a turn up friend. And Kenya's like, well, yeah, I can usually turn up when I'm not feeling like I'm feeling. And, we go into a little bit about Mark Daly and how their husbands are, all like that. And so, Cynthia did ask, like, so what are you planning on doing, Kenya? And she like, I haven't decided on what I'm going to do. What I'm saying? I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. But when LaToya was talking about her husband serving her separation papers in the house, she also was like, but it's cool because I want to get a divorce. Right? And so, that's what she said at the time. So of course that's what we take it to be. Cynthia is always pulling up with wine. Honestly, Cynthia is the perfect older friend. Like, all my older friends in college used to be like, let's go get drunk. And it's like, that's how Cynthia is for all of her homegirls in the Real Housewives, you know, of Atlanta gang. She's always like, I got a bottle, y'all. Let's go in here and open up this bottle of wine. Y'all come over to my house and we gonna taste some wine. Like, Cynthia, Cynthia, I appreciate you. I actually would love that about friendship. I would love that. I would love to have a friend that's always like, girl, I got some new wine I want you to try. Come over to my house. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. If you're a wine friend, reach out to me, please. But yeah, so Cynthia invited LaToya and Kenya over to her house for a wine tasting because she said, you know, we in a movement, child. So she is trying to have Black-owned wines at the Bailey Wine Cellar. So that is why she is having the ladies come over for a little wine tasting. Portia is still in Kentucky. She just got out of jail. So Miss Diane is at the house with PJ. PJ looks so cute in her little onesie. And Miss Diane is always on. I'm sorry. I ain't never seen Miss Diane have an off day. Miss Diane stay hidden. Wig on and attached. Ring popping. Miss Diane is never coming lacking. You hear me? Okay? But, so Lauren comes over, and apparently PJ be being shady to Lauren, which is hilarious because nieces be like that. And so Portia just so happens to call right on time while everyone who would want to see her at that moment, minus Dennis, no, because Dennis is with her. But yeah, everybody who would want to see her at that moment were happen to all be in the same room, and she just FaceTimed at that exact right moment because that's how reality TV works, guys. But yeah, so she, you know, just happens to show up at that exact right moment, and they have a conversation about, you know, how it was that night, and, you know, her seeing Breonna Taylor's mom once she was released from jail, and just kind of telling them when she'd be home and all that type of stuff. And, you know, she said something that just about broke Miss Diane when she was like, I said, I'm gonna get out of here, go home, kiss my mom and kiss my baby. And the reason why I'm here is for Breonna Taylor, and she can't do none of those things. And to see her mom there, feel with so much warmth, even though she knew that she was going through such a terrible time, that about broke Miss Diane. But I also understood it because when she said it, it hit me a little different too, because it is like, that is crazy. Like, Breonna never got the opportunity to become a mom, and like her mom never got to see her. Like, they took that chance away from her mom to see her daughter grow and evolve and, you know, become better in her life and things like that. Like, those police officers literally stole that from Breonna's mom that night. And for Portia to say it like that, it really, like, it clicked a different button for me, to be honest. So, yeah, shoot, I'm about to be like Miss Diane and cry myself. But, like, yeah, it's just not cool when you think about it. And I really, really, really hate that happened. My love and support and condolences and everything to her family, to her mom specifically, to her friends that knew her, to everybody who has been impacted by her life. Sorry it had to take a turn like that, but it's just hard. That's hard. That's too hard. That happened. There was a commercial break, thank God, so we could all get our lives together. The next thing that happened was Cynthia is introducing Drew to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or Real Housewives Universe, period. So apparently she met her at her wine cellar for when Mike proposed, the night Mike proposed. Eva brought her. I was actually, Drew and Ralph were there, Eva was there, and of course Mike and everybody. That was, if you watched that season, you saw that episode, you know what happened. That was poor Cynthia. How is Kenya your best friend? Like, but so yeah, that is when Drew and Cynthia met. So this scene that we opened up to right after the commercial break is Cynthia has Drew out. They're out for like charcuterie board. Charcuterie board. The wood with the meat, the cheese, and the crackers on it. They having one of them and some wine. And so the first thing Cynthia asked Drew, like, so I know you have a good quarantine thing. Like, excuse me, sister. I am, but you in my business, but it's okay. But apparently Drew ruptured her Achilles on stage with Leon. Like, okay, like that's crazy. On stage with Leon, and so she had to have surgeries and stuff, and she's in a boot. And she was like, I gotta figure out how to make it work with this boot. So here I am with a little bit of advice. If you know me personally and you don't want to hear me talk like this, just fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna tell you to do this thing, Drew, okay? Because you don't really need the boot leg, all right? You can lay him down, right? You can put the left leg, put the foot of your left leg up, lay the leg with the boot down, okay? But we are across the body of the husband, amen? And you can get the bouncery, okay? And I promise to feel like you ain't missing nothing at all. What leg? You won't even remember that you ruptured your Achilles on stage with Leon. You won't even remember. Take my advice, Drew. Let me know how it goes. But yeah, she's like, I ruptured my Achilles, whatever. So they kind of just have this conversation to just kind of let us know who Drew is and what she does. And we also see like her confessionals. She's just like, I'm an actress, baby. This is what I do. And da-da-da-da, which I forgot about White Chicks for a brief moment. But what she did forget to mention that is kind of an iconic, not iconic, but like a big role that stands out of hers for me is her playing Eddie's girlfriend on That's So Raven, because she was so greedy. All my girl did was ate. And I identified. But yeah, so they have this cute little dinner and they're drinking all this wine, and they do like a fast forward. They're like, oh yeah, marriage is so hard. And they do like a rewind thing. Fast forward. They do a rewind. And so apparently Drew is out to drinks and charcuterie boards with Cynthia the night of her anniversary. Because they take us back to earlier today. She getting breakfast in bed. The grandma come in with the flowers. He come in with the champagne. It said like 8 hours ago, so that had to be earlier that day. It was their anniversary. Girl, why you? Well, once we get through the episode and see how her husband be acting, I can understand why you probably wouldn't want to spend your anniversary with him. But yeah, so we kind of get a glimpse into the dynamic between her mom, and her husband, and the fact that they have to all be together. And also I stan Drew's daughter, because she's like, have you done your schoolwork? And she literally laughed in her face. And she's like, do you know your ABCs? She's like, no. She's like, well, see, you need to learn them. But it's hilarious. She's 2. You should be on top of that type of stuff. I get it. Yeah, her mom and him getting into it a lot. I'm interested to see how that unfolds, because like in this anniversary scene, like in this first one with the bed and breakfast, he seems pretty normal to me. But you know, we kept watching the episode. So Portia is complaining about how her mama, she didn't get a regular old black man coming home from jail reception. She wanted to have a fish fry. She wanted to have a parade. She wanted something to be going on, and Miss Diane wouldn't even make her no eggs. She said, so these eggs is for the grandbaby, which is hilarious. Your parents literally give up on you when you have a child, apparently. Apparently they just only want the baby, and you can just go kick rocks. That's at least what I'm getting from this moment with Miss Diane and Portia. But Portia is just really in this scene basically saying, like, you know, it was great that Dennis was there with me. However, like, it's just not feeling like we are, you know, about to be trying to get married. Like, it just don't feel like that. And a lot of our issues are just being magnified with being in the panoramic and things like that. And so, like, she's also saying in this scene, like, I have to make sure that the commitments I made to support the movement and to fight for social justice, I cannot be out here, you know, missing meetings and things like that. Like, I must really, really, really commit. So on top of already my responsibilities that I already have, like my job stuff, I still have to be available and be there for my people, which is great. Like, I really, really, really appreciate Portia. I said that the last time. I like super respect her for what is going on here. Moving along, we got Candy is heading to go pick up Mama Joyce to go to Riley's graduation. It is crazy to think that Riley is graduating. Like, obviously we talked about it last episode and how she was acting. Also, I am still corrected. Riley did wash her car a little bit, even in her cute clothes with her wig and her full beat. So I see you, Riley. But yeah, like, it is crazy to think that, you know, she was just little baby Riley, like, when we first started this journey of Real Housewives with Candy. And now Riley is literally grown. Like, she is like, girl, I do not care nothing about this high school stuff, this living in your house stuff. Honey, send me to New York, pack me up, and ship me out right now. Thank you very much. Bye. Like, you know, but Candy and Mama Joyce discuss, like, why what was going on when Candy graduated. Like, she went to her graduation, but she was on tour and the other girls were upset with her for doing so. And Mama Joyce talked about she was mad at them for being mad at Candy because of all of her, Mama Joyce's, hard work. Girl, you always doing the most. But yeah, so we go to Riley's graduation and she looks beautiful and it's social distance, all of that. On the same day of Riley's graduation, we are at Lake Bailey for the wine tasting. And so first guests to arrive are Kenya and LaToya, because they were invited together. They decided to ride together. That was very nice. But LaToya is being shady. I forgot to mention this when we opened up at Kenya's house, but when Cynthia invited her to Lake Bailey, she talked about, I can't wait to see the river. And both of them, even Kenya hopped in there like, it's a lake, child. Like, don't do my friend, honey. It's Lake Bailey. And so when they pulled up, LaToya tried to be like, you can't see the other side of the lake. Like, girl, who gave you your riparian degree? Like, stop being weird. If she wants to call it Lake Bailey, let her call it Lake Bailey. You like to call listen, we're not about to go there, but let me tell you. Let that lady call her house a lake. Just let her do it. And next, I believe Marlo pulls up. And Marlo was like, we can sit next to each other. We know how to act like ladies, don't we? And Kenya said, some of us act, some of us are, which is, I like that little bit of shade. Not to say that Marlo is not a lady, but that was a nice little, I like that little drag. So yes, then Drew pulls up with Ralph. And immediately the girls who are having issues with their husbands hop on tip. They did not stand the fact that Drew walked in here with her nice looking husband, be him as weird as he is. We will get to that. They just was mad. They was very mad. Hoes mad. Hoes was mad. She like, LaToya like, I'll tell him to leave. Like, girl, I wish you would come over here to tell my husband to do something. Cynthia, I'm sorry I had to tear up your wine tasting. Because this bitch thought she was about to tell my husband what to do. Bitch, are we sister wives? Bitch, is this polygamy? Bitch, you not telling my husband nothing. You not telling him a nothing. So yes, I ain't even married, but that just made me mad. Like, girl, tell him what? Like, you can't even tell my boyfriend to do nothing. Who are you? But yeah, so she like, I'll tell him to leave, but y'all not thinking Mike and Ralph is friends and they is about to go talk at the lake. They about to go, they got stuff to talk about at the lake, and that's what they about to go do. But Kenya is like asking Drew, has she met her before? And Drew was like, no, but we probably got some friends in common. Let's run them down. And then LaToya interrupts and is like, oh, that's why I don't like you, Drew. And then, of course, they cliffhang us. She's like, I don't like you because of the game. And I'm like, people have to get over that. Maybe my wound would be open if I was binging it right now. But I'm very much healed from that. Very much healed. I'm not healed from Lawrence getting Condola pregnant, but I'm very much healed from Juicadora making me cheating with Derwin and girl Melanie or whatever. But yeah, also earlier in the conversation, LaToya did the same thing. Kenya asked her what happened to her Achilles, or she's like, your leg, your knee, your ankle, your foot. Like, girl, ask me what happened, and then I can tell you exactly what and what part of my leg this is. But yeah, so she's like, I don't care about that. I just want some wine. I just want some wine. I just want some wine. And I'm like, she is uncomfortable. Like, I cringe. I really do. I really cringe. But so Cynthia gets everybody up and they go sit out on the patio. And it's not 93 degrees on Cynthia's patio. She got a little water, cool it down a little bit by Lake Bailey. It was 93 degrees on Kenya patio. And they out there talking about how they sweat and, well, I'm sorry, LaToya talking about how she got a sweating problem. But Cynthia had the decency to bring the girls out in the evening so that it could be cool and they can enjoy these wines. Now, I thought this was very cute. I thought this was a good time. However, when Cynthia got to being like, now this wine is from Ayesha Curry, and I'm just like, yes, she's black. Yes, it's black-owned wine. Like, but there are so many other black-owned wines, and it's like, if you really, really, really wanted to get your foot in there, and you know what I'm saying, get the support in some black-owned businesses, try small black-owned businesses. Like, if you don't promote Ayesha Curry's wine on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she's still gonna sell wine. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's Ayesha Curry. But like, going and finding a smaller black-owned wine brand, I don't know the name of it. If I figure it out, if I find it before I put this video up, I'll put it down like in the video. But like, there are so many black-owned wine brands. You can literally Instagram hashtag black-owned wine brand. Like, right there, like they're there for you. I just thought that going with someone who was also a celebrity was kind of like not really putting the effort in as far as she was trying to make it seem. You know what I mean? It was just like, Ayesha Curry gonna get them bottles off, all right? But it's a small black-owned business in like Baltimore or here in Detroit or something that can really benefit from you, Cynthia Bailey, Real Housewife of Atlanta OG. you know what I'm saying, speaking about my wine on national television and carrying it or carrying it in your store, because maybe you don't carry it in the store. Maybe you wouldn't have liked it. Maybe one of the girls would have shaded it and people still would have went and bought that person's wine just to see if the person was telling the truth or not, or was accurate or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just really feel like you could put a better foot forward at getting in there with those Black-owned wine brands. But I just wanted to talk to you about that. But yeah, LaToya, now we're talking about, you know, like Marlo asked Drew, how long have you been married at this point? And she's like, I've been married 6 years. And, you know what I'm saying, me and my husband go through a lot. LaToya is also talking about how they're getting separated, but she getting back with her man. And that's confusing Drew and all the homegirls in her head, because she like, if y'all getting a separation, I mean, you think you want to get a divorce. Now, mind you, back a minute ago, she said, that's fine. He served me with the separation papers because I want to get a divorce, right? But the next day, we at Cynthia's house, and she like, you know, I'm going to get back with my man. We only going to be separated for a year, but while I'm separated, I'm just going to have some fun. And it's like, okay, like if that's what you want to do, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to judge you. But like, Drew, also being a married woman who has been through a lot of trials and tribulations of her marriage, she is like, girl, for real? Like, do you really think that's what you're supposed to do right now? So I could understand both sides of the coins. Like, girl, do your thing. Like, if that's how you look at it, that's how you look at it. But on the other side, it's like, I could also see how you will feel a little bit more serious about it than she would. Kenya creates an excuse to leave so her and Cynthia can talk about this bunch. Like, it's weird that they were just not making fetch happen. And that's what this scene felt like. It just wasn't like making fetch happen. The really redeeming quality of this little moment here was Kenya talking about how she's going to let Mark know that she's gonna file, and she wouldn't just serve him, and she started dancing, talking about, you just got served. Like, that was the only redeeming part of this scene. So then, you know, but let me talk about this moment between Mike and Ralph, because Mike missed the opportunity to tell Ralph that he was out his goddamn mind. And I got some notes here too. I just want to make sure. Marlo, also while they were there, before this, like, before they went outside to start the wine tasting, Marlo says she called Candy because she, you know, obviously wanted to check on her, see if she was coming. But obviously this was the day of Riley's graduation, so she wasn't coming. So they jump over to Candy's house, and Candy is there and just telling Todd about the graduation and how she was feeling and all that stuff. Riley comes in, and, you know, Candy's so excited to see her and let me see your diploma and all the stuff. She gave her these flowers, and Riley was like, oh, thanks. I just really wanted some money, though. And Riley has really been shady from the jump. Like, Riley has never changed. Riley has always been the same. So, like, I think Riley's gonna be all right in the world. Todd actually gave her cash, and that was very nice of him, and she was appreciative of that. She wishes she had it on Cash App, but he said, here's cash. He knows New York is gonna be expensive, so here goes some money. And Mama Joyce reaches for it, and Riley is like, and you will be giving me mine later too. Thank you, Grandma. So yeah, that happens, and then we jump back to Lake Bailey. And LaToya asked what was Riley's first car, and for me, it was just like, it's none of your business, it's none of your business. But they was like, the Porsche. And she like, oh, I didn't even buy my first car. My sugar daddy bought my first car. And Marlo like, oh, teach me how to get a sugar daddy. And Kenya tried to be like, Marlo, you know all about the sugar daddy swag. And Marlo is like, that was my man. Like, that was my man. I was dating old white men because that's what I wanted to do. And yes, he spent a lot of money on me, but I'm not doing it no more. Sugar daddy me, please. Also, Kenya saying that she was underwhelmed by Drew, but she thought Ralph was cute. Kenya, you have a history of being too friendly with people's husbands. Watch yourself. So the men talk. Now, Ralph is like, you know, being married is cool, it used to be great, and now we got all of this going on. Her mom's here, she tore her Achilles, all this type of stuff, and sometimes it just gets so overwhelming that I just leave. And Mike is a little bit taken aback, and this is where I needed him as an older man to be like, you just be leaving your wife and kids for 3 days and not saying nothing? Like, you just left. He's like, I just leave. And he, like, that was the moment for Mike to be like, don't do that to your wife. Don't do that to your kids. Like, at least let somebody know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Take a drive around Atlanta. Don't go to Tampa. But yeah, so they talk about that, and Mike is just like, you know, I'm here for you, here for some support, and I really hope that all works out. I hope you get your peace and all of that. And but yeah, I believe after this is when we get to Drew. So this was a pretty explosive, I think, first episode for a new housewife. Like, the speed at which it took a turn for bad was just so uncomfortable. Like, it was just like it happened so quick. It was like you could see it coming, but you just, my God, my God. Like, so he's like, hey, babe, walking into the room with shots. He's like, come on, let's get y'all here at the table. So he got the chef hired, the kitchen, the dining room is decorated. We about to have a romantic night. We got chocolate covered strawberries and all the things. And then, you know, she out there like, well, you got me all high and bothered. I love this, And he's like, you know, to year 6 and all of that, and she wants to have a wedding for year 7. He's not here for it. But he's like, so we're in year 6. We made it year 6. You know, what do you want to do in year 7? And what was it? What's not working? He asked her, what's not working? He asked her right out of his mouth, what's not working? And she didn't even want to, she was like, can I really say? And that is a sign of, I'm not one of those people that likes to just throw around words like that, but I know that feeling. I know that feeling of somebody you love asking you a question and you not really feeling safe enough to answer. So I know this shit felt terrible, like walking into that. And she is just like, well, you know what I'm saying? When we was in counseling, we said we was going to add more transparency to our relationship. And I'm just feeling like I'm not getting that. And he's like, how do you feel like you're not getting that? I think I'm very outspoken, not transparent. Outspoken, transparent, not the same thing at all. You can be a transparent, outspoken person, but transparency and outspokenness do not do one of these. So you have to, you know, understand that first. You have to understand words to begin with. And so he's like, yeah, I feel like I'd be telling you what's going on. And they were kind of like over talking each other. And I also feel like it was like not edited that way, like you can tell that they was really like, because he was playing her like a fool. Like he was really playing her, because it's no way that me and you gonna have an argument. You're gonna go to your office, and I'm thinking you in the office taking a moment to calm yourself down and chill out, to make sure that you not, you know what I'm saying, acting out of character or whatever. And I come down there to try to feed you because I'm your wife. I'm not gonna treat you like a hoe on the street. You hungry, honey? And I'm banging on the door and you don't show up. I mean, you're not in there. You're gone. And then you're gone for days. And then you also won't tell me where you are. You also won't answer your phone when I call. You may text me back, but you're not answering the phone. It's weird. It's weird. And it's easy to immediately assume that he on some cheating shit, because the dishonesty, the willingness to omit information, the disappearing of it all. I would think that. I would also be like, where were you and who were you with and what the heck is going on? I would feel like that. But yeah, like, and he just like, you have to understand that as a Black man, I leave to make the best so that I can have the best outcome in this. Like, it's like, yes, if you have to take a moment to make sure that you're not acting crazy in my face and I gotta shoot you, like, if you gotta take a moment to do that, then that's cool. But if you think you gotta go to London to have a break from me while I'm here with your kids, we got another thing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's like, you gotta understand the pressure that's on my shoulders and all this stuff. And I'm trying to build this legacy. And Drew was like, yes, that's what I love about you. And he's like, no. And she's like, wait, like, I'm on your side. Like, we are not going against each other here. But he wasn't hearing that, honey. And he really did not want to tell her where he went. And ultimately, it came out that he was in Tampa. And then also, like, I thought that was the big bomb of it all. But then, like, come to find out, he in there watching them. Which, I don't think she had a problem with the fact that he was watching them. I think her issue was because it's like, your husband is in IT. Why wouldn't he have some sort of technology around his house to keep you guys safe, you know what I'm saying, and to survey the area, stuff like that? I don't know. Well, that makes sense to me. However, I think Drew was thrown off because she was like, so you can just watch us all day and I can not know where you are? That's weird. It's weird. And his reaction to her asking him, he's like, no. No, I'm watching you guys. I have cameras everywhere. Like, that's when he got really weird. Like, he was getting increasingly weirder the entire conversation. But that's when I was like, no, that shifty shit is not cute. Like, that's weird. It's cool that you want to keep an eye on us, make sure we're safe, things like that, making sure that if somebody does try to break in our house, you know what I'm saying, we can get a footage to the police. Look, little surveillance, you feel me? I get it. But what I don't get is you being weird about it. Watching you. Like, you're being weird. You're being weird. And we end the episode with Drew being like, you know what? Actually, you're not about to play me like no fool. I'm about to get up from here. I'm done. And she goes on to, go in the room, and she's like, I'm taking my dress off. Like, I'm over this. He's not about to keep making me look stupid like this. I hate when you do this. And then it's like next time on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So listen, it was a lot going on. Also, in the beginning scene when Kenya toasted Cynthia and LaToya, she was like, she said something like, to however it goes, separate or apart, girl, to however it is, the same thing or the thing same. Like, girl, y'all are so funny. But yeah, Real Housewives of Atlanta this week was just a little bit more action-packed than last week, and I'm really excited to see where the season goes. I really want what is best for all of these couples at the end of the day. Like, I really hate that they go through a lot of this stuff, like, but if they didn't, would it be good TV? Probably not. But thank you so much again for tuning in. My name is Rhoa. Please follow me on Instagram at I am WAH. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching and have a great weekend. Bye.